Hey, and welcome to The Office Field Guide. My name's Chris and I'm reviewing every episode of The Office ever, and today we're looking at Heavy Competition.
Good.
Heavy Competition was written by Ryan Coe and directed by Ken Whittingham. And your Heavy Competition trivia is, how much did Michael try to bribe Dwight with?
It was 4 years ago. Why don't you let it go, Michael?
Answer the trivia first, spout out the Easter egg, and or leave the best emoji sequence summing up next week's episode, and you'll get your name in that field guide. Today we're going to talk about paper warfare.
This is a war, and I will not stop. I will not rest. You have no idea what kind of enemy you've created.
We're going to talk about a great quote from Rainn Wilson about this episode, and a TikTok competition that I wrote my whole family into last year that has to do with this cold opening. So a lot to talk about, and be warned, there may be spoilers for the series ahead, and so with that, let's go to war.
I wanted to start a company, not a war. I understand nothing.
Okay, the Michael Scott Paper Company arc is in full swing now, and things are really heating up.
I imagine the true horror will be when he wakes up in a zoo.
Dwight is stealing information to give to a competitor, and that's a pretty big no-no.
Dwight tells me you've been pestering him for company info.
And this episode does give us a sense of growth between Michael and Dwight. Dwight is no longer the butt kisser he was in season 2.
I want him to have all the urine he needs.
I mean, he's still following orders.
Looking good.
Okay, thank you.
Which didn't really bother him when he was working at Staples, but it is a fun bit either way.
Straight jacket! Okay.
The real reason that Dwight changes sides is that Charles basically recognizes Dwight for everything that he's always wanted to be.
Yeah, I like your work ethic. You're so focused.
Like a wolf, thank you.
And now Dwight is ready to go to bat for Charles, his new boss.
You have unleashed the wolf.
Another thing I've always appreciated about this episode is that there's a lot of telephone acting.
It's not the soil, it's the manure. Paper is the manure.
I am going to steal all of your clients, and then I am going to kill them in front of you. Is Mr. Schofield there?
If you'd like to reach an outside line, please dial 9 first.
I've always gotten a kick out of how this episode ramps up and how the stakes are really low, but if you heard them on these calls, you'd think something really serious was happening.
So you're begging for mercy, huh? Well, you will find none here.
I don't know who you are.
Dwight Schrute?
I don't know what you want.
$80,000 a year.
I can tell you I don't have money, but what I do have are a very particular set of skills.
And how is Brenda, age 4, ponytail, and Simon, age 7?
I will look for you. I will find you. And I will kill you.
You don't say.
This is a war, and I will not stop. I will not rest. You have no idea what kind of enemy you've created. You have unleashed the wolf.
The B plot in this one revolves around Andy and Jim. Andy's projecting as he's still reeling from his breakup with Angela.
The happiest guy ever. I mean, I'm so happy. I'm so happy.
And Jim decides to play with him on it.
I was going to use today to purge my inbox, but now something much more pressing has come up.
And I love emotional Jim.
Just forget it.
Jim, I said forget it.
And we're going to talk about this more in a deleted scene, but this plotline's even better with a deleted scene in which Jim tells Andy that everyone's looking at him weird, and it's the reason why Andy takes this grandstand.
Everyone just keeps looking at me.
Are you sure?
Will you just talk to them, please? Who exactly?
Pam just knew.
Just to find out that Jim's messing with them, leading to one of the most popular Office memes there is. And there are a couple of extremely well-timed, unexpected musical bits in this one, almost back to back. When this moment happens, I love it so much. It's so pretty, and then Andy does his thing, and it makes the whole bit.
Did you even hear the music I just played for you?
The other musical moment is from the Michael Scott Paper Company's Morning Chant.
U-G-L-Y. You ain't got no alibi, you ugly. Ho, ho, you mama say you ugly. Hey, go Michael Scott Paper Company.
I guess if I don't call this out, someone will yell at me in the comments. Dwight tricks everyone into eating out in this episode, and the place they eat out at is Alfredo's Pizza Cafe.
It's like eating a hot circle of garbage.
And that lines up with this joke.
Their meatball parm is their worst sandwich.
Oh.
Bastard.
It's so nefarious of Dwight, but Dwight calling out
Spin move.
is a highlight of this episode for me. Chris's favorite joke. I can't see Dwight playing high school football or playing Madden NFL. It's just so random and intense and funny. Also belly laughed when I read a quote from Wilson on this bit. We did like 5 spin moves, and once I even did a somersault. I thought I was being all nimble and quick, but no. I watched it and it looks like a manatee doing ballet at SeaWorld.
SeaWorld?
Kevin, are you saying see the world or SeaWorld?
SeaWorld. Oceans. Fish. Jump.
Okay.
China.
Okay, with that, let's dive into the deeper meaning. Get it? Dive? Because manatees, they live in water. Hit the music.
What does a bean mean?
Someone please explain it to Kevin.
I wish this was a sofa, because I feel like I could sit here and talk for hours.
I think this episode takes a look at the ramping up nature of human conflict and a view into its victims.
Typical American arrogance that got us involved in a war we never should have been in. World War II.
Right? These things work if you're looking at war,
I am going to steal all of your clients,
or regional paper companies' corporate espionage.
and then I am going to kill them in front of you.
And these things tend to start with someone not doing something that they should be doing.
You were making me do things that were not all right,
You just rat me out? You could have said no.
and not come through for you.
Or doing something that they should not be doing.
Okay, see you in a bit.
Once betrayal is detected, an emotional reaction occurs in the name of justice.
Who is Justice Beaver? It's a crime-fighting beaver.
Then as humans do, we try to go after each other where it hurts.
Angela's having sex with Dwight.
Thanks, guys. Thank you.
You look good to get it from his mama.
Whoa, is he joking?
Kevin? Right! Right!
I don't care whether you hate it. You said you'd do it.
All right.
Eat it.
I am a man. I'm a bigger man than you'll ever be. I would never sleep with another man's fiancée.
Oh.
It's as though we think that this one last action, this one last thing, is going to be a deterrent to stop all conflict going forward. No matter what the cost is, no matter what it says about us as humans, we just have to win.
Win-win.
Win.
Fine.
But
It is done.
And win here is a funny thing because often these conflicts, they go from the primary objective,
If you keep coming after us, the Michael Scott Paper Company cannot succeed.
but then it turns into something completely else.
I'm going to have you listen while I steal your biggest client.
And this, again, is a really human thing. Everything I've just said plays out in war. It also plays out in business. It also plays out in relationships, which is where the B plot comes in.
Let me be your traveling pants.
Andy's a victim of a conflict that he himself was an unwitting participant in.
Please feel free to call or stop by any time of the day or night.
It's very generous.
He's displaced and he needs to be restored.
I learned something about myself today. Yeah.
And I've seen some criticism that Jim was abnormally cruel to him in this episode. But I think that's missing the point of this one. While conflict is unavoidable, it just never ends when the conflict is over. And that's why Jim has this PSA moment.
That stuff that happened with you and Angela is a bummer. And I know that you don't think you're ever going to find someone else, but you will. I promise you, you will.
So the message here is the message of hope, that while one sun sets, another's rising.
Shut up about the sun! Shut up about the sun!
So with that, let's rate this thing.
This is the worst!
Continuing. Notice my persistence and recall. Continuing!
As always, before I get into the ratings, please give this video a like and subscribe if you haven't. It really does help. And stay tuned to the end for the mini reviews. If you want to be a mini reviewer, just support the channel, check out the Patreon page or the YouTube membership somewhere down there. All right, so the ratings for heavy competition. This cheeseball cold opening, well, it's everything to me for some reason, and I don't know why. You know when you were stuck at home as a kid and you just started doing dumb things to pass the time? Well, this is it. So last year, when quarantine hit the Wolverine household real hard, we were super bored. We decided to hop onto this TikTok competition. The rules were pretty simple. Show quarantine live. Needed to have 3 different hats for some reason. Also needed to include a tiger, because I think Tiger King was a big deal on Netflix for some reason in early 2020.
Tony the Tiger.
Yeah.
You don't hear that much anymore.
Not so much.
So we decided to do this cheeseball thing. So pay special attention to the tiger special effects at the end.
Hey, Boo.
Yo, Pops, cheeseball me.
Okay, I don't miss quarantine at all, but the reason I showed that is because I don't think I'll ever watch this cold opening of The Office ever again and not have fond memories of doing dumb things with my kids to pass the time and help us all not go insane. So other than my actual biased nostalgia here, this cold opening, it's fine. There's nothing really here. I give it a 3 out of 5. As for the episode itself, this episode has some highlights.
Michael. Oh my God! Run! Run! Set up!
No,
Set up!
No, Michael.
Dwight!
Michael, no.
It also has some intensity. I think I'd call myself elated at this moment.
I'm going to have you listen while I steal your biggest client.
Oh no, 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 no.
But this episode as a whole, it's not very funny overall, but it really is somehow still enjoyable. It's technically proficient.
It's really technically proficient, but there's really no heart or soul in it.
But I'm also not really sure anything excelled here. I'm gonna give it a 3 out of 5. If I were doing decimals, I'd probably round more up to 4 out of 5. It's a good episode of The Office. But that's just what I think about heavy competition. What are your thoughts? Leave them in the comments, along with the emoji sequence and the other comment contest. And stay tuned for the mini reviews. With that, thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you next time.